Oh, talk about popping off. Radiator just going ham. Hellpig getting turned into goddamn barbecue. Welcome back, everyone. It is Sunday night, and we're going to be watching some Phobies viewer games. Of course, I have to let everybody know at the outset that I am part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does, in fact, give me coffee for producing Phobies content. What Phobies content, might you ask? Well, these viewer games are a good example. We have a lot in the hopper today. A number of dupes. We're not going to get through all of them. It's been a while since we've had that. It's a good problem to have once again, and we have some returning people, and we have some excitement. We'll explain as we get into it. I'm going to try and group them and not group them. I don't know. We're just going to play it by ear and see how tonight goes. But yeah, part of the content affiliate program, and if you're interested in getting your own games here on stream and then ultimately on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit up the links in the description. If you're here on the live stream on Twitch, !Discord. In the Randoms Thoughts Discord, all the instructions are there so that I can get all the appropriate information in order to, go through the games. Now, beyond that, we are looking at starting the tournament series back up. It was Fright Night, then it became Monster of the Week, and it's going to be doing a third metamorphosis for the new one. I'm still working out the details. The next few weeks, real life-wise, for me are going to be a challenge, so we shall see. But we're going to get into the games. What's good, chat? I'm doing all right there, Master Dark. It's been a while since I watched the review stream. Got an interesting game sent, I tried to get an interesting game to send, didn't get any really interesting match for a while. That's fair. I mean, I've had people say that, oh, well, I haven't had any interesting games, so what am I, And the thing is that watching good players do stuff or like a well-executed game can still be interesting to a lot of people. So I think it's fine. And if we have a quote-unquote boring game, that's allowed to. It happens. Then what did Tona? Hey, daddies, how's your special day going? That's like that meme on YouTube. Well, there's a guy, I'm assuming it's on YouTube, where it's like the guy does D&D quotes, and it's like, I think we've said it before. I'm trying to remember exactly how it goes. It's like the cleric talking to the warlock, and the cleric's like, no, they're not the same. When I say, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, it's not the same as, I'm sorry, Daddy, I've been bad. Or I've been naughty, or something like that. I forget the exact quote, but I think you get the point. All right. We're starting it off guns blazing, I guess. We'll see. We'll see if Billy shows up. But Karst is our hero here. Karst of Phobies Balance fame, one might say. So Karst is our hero, showing how to defend on Desolation Row, since it seems like people are struggling with that. The Daisy Hang was a math fail on my end. Now, I didn't catch it as we were zoning into the game, whether this was async or arena. Karst tends to lean into async, so I'm going to assume that. Desolation Row is one of, I guess, I mean, it's definitely one of the newer maps, but seemingly one of the maps that gives people a lot of struggles, as Karst indicated. And we are getting an early Gravedigger out of Karst. I'm not going to say Karst hates Gravedigger, because that's clearly not true, but it is funny how many maps are quote-unquote Gravedigger maps, and yet we see Gravedigger showing up on this map as well. And we did get the early break that allows for the one key, the Tickles, to kind of sneak up there and claim that early panic point. Presumably, and I'm going to pause here because since this is an instructional game, we're even going to bust out the Telestrator here. Have a little fun since we got the full gamut of games. And chat, I'm a little energetic right now. That may not last, only because I am, maybe I'll talk about the health problems later, but so we get the block break. As you can see, like, we got 2 over here. Should have 2 over here. Get the break from the Gravedigger. It allows Tickles to get up here. Why is that relevant? Because this right now 4-1 panic point advantage already right out of the gate. And that is, we don't see too many games submitted on Desolation Row. I think we had one last week, but we'll see. Chat saying, I think Lonesome Town and Mesophobe are more aggressive than this map. And there's also another map, but I forget the name. I mean, just because they're... So I've been having this conversation in different contexts, but I'm going to say the identical thing. Just because something is more than something else doesn't mean that the other thing, the thing that is less, is not still thing. I know that was like super vague, but like we'll replace the words here. Just because, and this is assuming that those other maps are more aggressive. For the sake of argument, we'll say they are. Get a little quick creep poison here. The point is that just because a... Is this the Daisy hang? I mean, Daisy could die here. We'll find out momentarily. But just because there are more aggressive maps does not make a map not aggressive. I think the aggressiveness or passiveness of a given map, or for a lot of things, insert whatever the thing we're talking about here, kind of boils down to, like, there is a bar where it's, this is aggressive or it is not. That would be the Daisy hang. All right, so we had an arithmetic error from Karst. It happens to the best of us. Honestly, I think seeing a high-level player make an error like that might be reassuring to people, where it's like, yeah, it happens. They're human too. But either way, we do see a 4-3 panic point advantage going for our hero here. Stabilizing a little bit, and despite the Daisy hang, we are going to get a cleanup on a couple phobies here. A phobie. Eventually, the snowball is going to go down. Ooh, we get the block here. I actually like that a lot. Would you call this a EBGB special? It feels like it's not, because it's defensive, but we'll go with it. Temptress. It's a bold move there, Cotton. I mean, we can clearly assume that Blue Speedola is going to be coming down in the near future. But honestly, it kind of feels like not only has Karst stabilized. Okay, we do get a Clinico to save this snowball. I always hate this sort of play. Because, like, while I get the Clinico, you're going to get value, especially if you put the other Speedola on the board. They're both fairly tanky, so you can heal them up potentially multiple times. Saving the snowball feels like I'm spending 3 keys to save 3 keys. It's like, it just doesn't feel great. Now we get the Karst special, and that's Glob. The panic point advantage remains in our hero's favor here, and this is... If you had to choose your positions other than losing the Daisy for freezies, well, not quite freezies, but close, that's... I think we'd be pretty happy about it. Now, the Speedolas, I think you have to complete the set, even though the Temptress is out there. I mean, it is a Temptress A. Some chip damage here from the creep. And I like supporting the creep push here. This is something that I try to bring up every time I see it, where somebody makes a somewhat aggressive play. And you need to be able to back it up. You can't just, as we saw with the Daisy earlier, just hang it out there to dry. Now, does Bad Guy really open something up here? Not really. The Blinky, or excuse me, the Tooth Fairy is able to actually cause some issues here by sniping the creep. This is a sick lag. Sorry, I had to pause for a second to appreciate it. But the Gravedigger extension, it's not just for Hevo 3.0. This allows for Karst's entire force to move up, as well as breaking some sightlines specifically onto the Glob, not allowing for Bad Guy to actually get up there, and then Sparky supplementing the team. From here, I mean, Bad Guy still has 12 keys, but Karst has 9, and the retaliation on this is not going to be great, no matter what you do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 phobies for Bad Guy. Okay, I was about to say, you got to have a big 9 key really to support this. However, you're still in the position that the glob is right there. You're putting another mech on the board, walking into double mech. And Karst is going to have the chance to respond here. All right, lockdown on Speedola. Of course, I imagine we're going to get the best spread we possibly can. Is this dead? That Speedola might be dead. It's going to be tough. Ooh, Woolly Bully. I love this counter as a counter pick to the Hevo. While Hevo is super threatening, obviously it needs to AoE stuff, and that over 1,500 damage on that glob. Good God. You do need to hit multiple targets, and when you cripple the AoE damage, well, the damage in general, with something like Woolly Bully, it's a big deal. Blue Speedola kind of locked in place here. Oh, no. You do not want to do that with your Hevo 3. Okay, we had another move. I thought it attacked twice for some reason. That guy would have been dead. That being said, it's probably not going to be very pleased with his existence momentarily. I think Noxious is back, and if Noxious is back... No, Noxious is not back. So I was thinking you could make a play into, like, you fly here, maybe you cupcake it first, you hit here, blow up the snowball, do some AoE damage, move this, get a stimmed hit onto the Hevo, get a hit onto the Hevo, and then you come in here and power down. It's a lot of stuff, but, and I don't even know that it would have killed it, but it would have been pretty sick. It would have been funny. Little challenge play action. Actually choosing to eliminate the boom, which I do appreciate. That probably needed to happen. By probably, I mean, it did. And the power down on the Hevo means that it's... I mean, it's still a threat, but, like, it's not really a threat. I mean, look at that. 52 damage. It ain't working. Ain't nobody got time for that. Very well played by Karst. You expect nothing less. Karst did submit a few games. We're going to probably do another Karst game. We won't get through all of them, I don't think, just for the purpose of getting as many people on as we can. We're back in that position. It's been a while, chat. Ooh, the big AoE from... honestly, one of the more maligned Phobies in the game. Tempter's putting in a little bit of work here. Slap! Well played. I think the early game is really the thing, and I've talked about it in a variety of different games. And I don't just mean... oh, damn it. I accidentally closed out of Karst's profile. We're going to do one more Karst game. I'm not talking just games that we watched in Phobies, although this is absolutely true. The thing is that people forget how important the early game is, and one of the biggest descriptions, or most accurate descriptions, is where I think it highlights it very well. In StarCraft, if you're familiar with it, it's an RTS. You build workers, and then you use the workers to build buildings, and buildings to make your army. And one of the biggest struggles people have often is you want to get in there, you want to build a big army, you want to build cool units, and you want to go fight people. But in order to do that, you have to have the economy to support the army and production. So when your opponent attacks you and removes workers, it's problematic. If you mistime the early parts of your game, thereby missing workers because they are not out on at the appropriate interval, you end up losing all of this potential revenue and all these potential resources. And that puts you behind before your opponent even gets involved. And I think that is true in a sense for Phobies, even whether you're talking about positioning or whatever is one thing. But in this case, I'm talking about properly engaging and positioning in the early parts of the game so that you aren't setting yourself up for failure. Because Karst didn't hemorrhage an enormous amount of board position or lose a bunch of phobies early in the game, they were able to then transition into a stronger position in the mid game and then into the late game. And you can see how, like, for either player, if you're staying neck and neck, at least, instead of having a gap, and then that gap becomes a bigger gap, and then that gap becomes an even bigger gap, and then it's suddenly, how could I possibly win? Well, you should have done something different 20 turns ago. With that out of the way, let's look at another Karst game. We're on Mysomania here. Man in Yellow. Let's see what you got. Showcasing new Phantom. It's still a very strong phobie. Don't mind me gooping myself. What? Obviously level difference. I don't know what that means. I am not clear on what gooping myself means. Did you accident, like, can you glob your own phobie? It's not possible, right? Is that possible? I don't think that's possible. I don't know what other... Charon? Honey Bear? How else would you goop yourself? That's a funny word, goop. Like, we have... It's not something that, like... It feels like it was very 80s kid show thing, kind of thing. I don't think that's really, like, a thing anymore. It's surprising how much people discard the importance of a solid early game. You can be as strong as you want in the late game. If you get destroyed in the early game, you're not going to get that OPN game. Yeah, you may not even get to the OPN game, let alone get the OPN game, which can be two different concepts. So I will point out here, Karst advanced this Phantom into a Firkin. Firkin was already on the board. Phantom came out. We'll see what happens here. But yes, it's something that is obvious when you think about it, but it isn't necessarily interesting. Firkin on the Gravedigger. I mean, you got time, but... Early Hevo 2.0. Okay, so we did want to look at levels. Game. I mean, you do have a level advantage. Okay, never mind. I guess it'll depend on the phobie. So, like, the Phantom is about the same level range. The other phobies are a 4 to 5 level difference. A little bit of a problem there. But yes, it's something that's obvious to people when you tell them, and it almost sounds insulting, like, you got to pay more attention to your early game. But it is something that's very easy to be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal that I lost this one key for no reason. You know, like, oops, I mispositioned this. Well, who cares? Except that one key can body block for you later, claim a panic point, you know, do something obnoxious to your opponent that allows you to snowball it throughout the game, as opposed to, well, I just lost it and now I'm doing nothing. So both players looking to... Dude, Karst is obsessed with Glob. Is Glob... I don't know if Karst has ever said what their favorite phobie is. Glob has to be Karst's favorite phobie, right? It's gotta be. That's a dead Gravedigger. Based on the fact that the previous one did 1,500 damage. Kablamo, over 1,000 damage, because that's all it had left. No fear of the Lavatal, which at this stage, when you're at this level... I'm not necessarily talking skill level, although that's also true. But when we're talking this phobie level... The Lavatals are just kind of an annoyance, if that. It was interesting to me that both players went for this Gravedigger push, or at least Karst was threatening it, and then clearly bad guy went for it, because I don't remember who was saying that this is not a good plan on this map, but I've definitely seen it work out. I feel like DT used to do this a lot. All right, so the Glob is already paid for itself in keys by gobbling up a Gravedigger and a Razormouth. Panic point advantage, hero. And we have yet another displacement tool. Crushmore also conveniently chilling out on the spa, solving that whole lava damage issue, if you can call it that. And I have to imagine that bad guy is feeling bad about the Firkin Gravedigger play. However, it did prevent Karst from potentially, like, marching Bo Mangles up there. Like, maybe that was in the game plan initially, the Firkin... But it ended up being a red herring, drawing the Firkin out of position, and then Phantom can do his thing, which should be back online, not this turn, but next turn, I believe. Glob's stuck in place. Unfortunately, because it's locked, it's not going to do a whole hell of a lot. But we are going to get a pick here on the Firkin. Oh, bad guy. Baby, what is you doing? All right, that's pretty good. I like that. All right, so it is going to be Charon with the goop. What are we doing here? I guess? That's fine. Like, this is a good play. It just felt like that was a lot of effort to kill that guy without a whole lot of threat to the bow mangles. Like, you could have just killed it with bow mangles and it takes some lava damage. I didn't feel like it was completely necessary, but either way, 6 keys to 10 remaining, 5 available for bad guy. Karst's team is showing a little bit of battle damage, but not too much. Shove Shark is still alive, right? Like, yeah, well, still warming up, but... Cerberus. I wonder if we'll be at the point where Phantom can get buffed, as in continue to lock abilities. Now that that concept is introduced, can we go back to a longer range Phantom or a faster Phantom as far as abilities goes, or both? And I think this is something that should constantly get reevaluated, because the idea of, you know, like just flinging Glob into your opponent's team or flinging Cerberus into your opponent's team doesn't feel nearly as oppressive as a lot of other things. And I think it does breathe some life into... I mean, Karst always makes Glob look fantastic, but... let's be real. Cerberus is not tearing things up, typically. So, panic point advantage for bad guy. However, not the most thrilling of forces in order to try and break this defensive line from Karst. And I think Karst can inch up and then eventually go, hey, I'm going to Phantom this guy right into your lap. Get a kill. We do have Glob as the answer, which isn't unreasonable for the Cerberus. However, that spider is probably live. I'm really puzzled by the alligator, to be honest. All right, so we're not going to go for the Glob pick. I think there was a world where, assuming Phantom was live here, which I'm not going to go back and check, could have, like, moved forward, yoinked, teleported the Cerberus up, killed the Glob. I'm assuming you could. It should have been enough damage, but... especially given a level differential. Phantom won't get a buff because there's still really strong combos to do. I don't remember if I read that comment. I may have legitimately forgotten because I'm tired. Marching into the lion's den. Clobbering. Just pulverizing that Shove Shark. Like, I think there are still good things you can do with Phantom. I lean towards make things a little more powerful. However, I think there might be a level of, like, PTSD with people as far as Phantom goes. So I, too, would not be surprised if they never buffed it. Alright, bad guy pulling the trigger, saying it's time to go for it, and I don't think this is going to work out for you. Admittedly, it is a lot of beef over here. The glob and the alligator is just an enormous mountain of HP. Gaming Raptor, welcome. This is a good heads-up play. Because otherwise that Cerberus was kind of stranded in a weird way. Like, you can't get to the Hevo. You'd have to double move in order to avoid the Hevo on the stem. And it just allows for a quick pick. Despite all of the HP, alligator goes down. Poison onto the glob is very relevant. I mean, Karst is in control of this one. I'm not sure where the gooping happened. I don't know what that was in reference to. Anything your glob can do, mine can do half as good. Oh, no. That dog's gonna eat. Well played, Karst. Well played. Yeah, I gotta see more of the new Phantom. Gotta see more of the new Phobies in general. And I think my comments about it last week or the week before, whenever it was, kind of prompted a lot of people to go out of their way to see if they can make something happen. Got Doom Doom recently, but I don't know if it's good yet. Haven't used it. Doom Doom is okay. Of the anti-trap phobies, it's one of them. Doom Doom is acceptable, and I think, like, especially compared to Whiskers, who may as well not exist. We're banning that. Okay, real talk. There's something going on with Twitch, because there's been, like, way more bots. Like, it's just waves of them recently. It's been a while since that happened. Like, at least a year. Doom Doom is not great. It's obviously a very niche phobie. It's better than Whiskers or a lot of alternatives. Well, maybe not a lot of alternatives because there aren't a lot. The reason for that... What? That was weird. The reason for that is probably more bots than mechanicals, maybe. But the reason that Doom Doom is better is because it's ranged. And... has better stats. It's kind of what it boils down to. Most of the time, if you're checking for traps, you can just simply, run a 1 key in or something and be like, all right, well, if the trap's there, I set it off and I don't care because it's 1 key. Or there's no trap and then it's fine. In order to get the value out of Doom Doom, your opponent has to have like at least 2 trappers, or you're somehow fishing out 5+ traps. Because if you think about it, you could have had 5 1 keys instead. Or just avoid the play. Like if you get on your opponent when they're setting up trappers, you avoid the places where the traps likely are. Like, he's not terrible. But he was kind of a meme for a while. Speaking of memes... No, I'm just kidding. Lord Shinra X... The Return. I thought Shinra gave the game up, but apparently not. Very bad positioning on my end. I thought I lost till my underleveled Hexian Raucus the Goat saved my ass. Do we have any goat phobies? We have 2 sheep. We have no goats, right? Am I forgetting one? He's pinging me in Discord. It's a random ping. I don't care about that. Get that out of there. It's just going to annoy me. Every time I'm going to look over and be like, oh, there's just a message in Discord. I don't think there are any goat phobies. We could do with some goat phobies. You could make them like Glob or Jaws, because goats are famous or infamous for eating anything. They could also have some kind of leap ability, I guess. Or maybe they can move through obstacles because, like, no, they can't be stopped by obstacles because they can just go over them. Some mountain goats? I don't know. There's some phobies I have that have been good in my eyes, but I'm not really sure if they're actually good in the higher ranks. A lot of things will change as you climb the ranks. But it's fine. It's like any other game piece. Use it until you decide you don't think it's good anymore. I do feel that there are a number of phobies that are bracket players, for lack of a better way to put it. Good pick here with the jar. Good pick with the jar. And by bracket players, I mean... or rank players, however you want to look at it. They'll be good up to a certain point, and then you kind of have to give them up. High Five and Klepto. Klepto has been... People have been begging the team to nerf Klepto since the game started. I don't agree with a nerf, but I can understand it. Klepto is one of the best phobies in the game. High Five is very much a niche phobie. It's not nearly as powerful as might be let on, or you might assume based on the ability. So Shinra kind of dominating this early position. We're going to get a look at, I mean, we did last week, but a newly nerfed Innocuous. Like, this doesn't seem bad for Shinra. Admittedly, this team is not great to dive the Innocuous, but several of these phobies were already on the board pre-Innocuous, so it's not like, oh, well, you brought the wrong comp into something you were aware of. You could assume they have an Innocuous, but it's not really the heart attack I use him for. I like how he can hit a group and heal a bunch. I mean, that's relevant, but the issue with High Five is he's not that tanky for the cost. So even though he can absorb some hits and heal, you will run into some challenges where they just burn him down. So the Klepto Bees combo, speaking of Klepto, causing some issues for our hero. Is this a dead? This looks like it's dead. Okay. I guess. They should still be able to... Oh, no, the Snowball's full health. Okay. Yeah, so bad guy's going to have to take the pick here. Is that the bad positioning? We're halfway through the game, so I assume not. Ooh. The counter snipe on the jar by bad guy's jar. Here is the Hexy. I still don't love Hexy personally. But he is still relevant. Turning off the jar here. We get a Clinico as the final phobie for bad guy. Didn't even realize Klepto took that much damage. Here's the big challenge, though. Shinra doesn't really have much left to his team. Like, Klepto and Oculus, they're very threatening. Nerf or not. Nerf or nothing. Alright, so we're in a repositioning battle here. So, I wonder if this is a bait. Because bad guy could claim this and cover the other 2 points with the Innocuous. Hexy can't get there. Only Unicorn or Snowball could get there. And then whatever comes out of the vault. Which, given that there's still almost 2,700 health on this Klepto, that seems very safe to me. Find it strange how I don't have Bone Mangles, but I have Giggles. Well, I assume you got Stabby then, right? I was reminded when I was in the test environment to look at the patch that, like, how the parts of the early game, as in early account creation work. It's very weird. I forgot some of this stuff. Oh, bad guy trying to chip away at this Hexy. Not getting there, it would appear. That is so much effort. Oh my god, that is so much effort to kill that Hexy. So that's the entire team temporarily powered down. Raucous is going to get a big AoE hit. Raucous being the phobia of choice here in general is a little odd. Ooh. Got him. Oh, how the turntable. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I didn't... Was the positioning great? Like, I wasn't watching it that closely to say, oh yeah, here's definitely where a mistake was, but it did not feel as though Shinra was in a terrible position, really, at any point. Like, it looked a little dicey on a couple turns, but it didn't seem terrible. I think it might be more bad guy just made more errors, I guess. Either way, well played. Sure. GG. GG. Alright, let's see what we got next. Only one game from Shinra as far as I can see on here. Let's see, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I think we can do 2 for this person. I think I have the sequencing right so that we can get at least one game from every unique person that's submitted. Like I said, we do have a bunch submitted this time, so we are building the queue back up. Which is a good thing that the queue is getting built back up. It means more interest in Phobies, because people are playing more, they're excited, having fun, I hope. Let me know if you're having fun playing Phobies, chat. Let me know down in the comments. So, KingBastos, our hero. I can't help but think of Cluck Norris, reading their name. You know, like basting a turkey. And Cluck Norris is gross. But KingBastos is cool, quite clearly. They're our hero here. This one may be the fastest game of my week. I don't know why they decided to give up. Probably because they went turn 2 Cupcake, and what the fuck are we thinking here? Like, what are we doing? Chat, I went to the dentist, and I don't know what they did with the drill, but, like, they must have nicked the inside of my lip. And it doesn't hurt, but it is annoying as hell. I made concepts of my own phobies myself. Don't know if they'll be balanced, though. There's a long, storied history of people, including the devs, creating wildly unbalanced phobies, so you're in good company, if that's the case. Just got an opponent going in Unicorn and Knock Cupcake on Never Forever, for instance. If they try what I think they will try, they will lose both Unicorn and Oculus. I assume you have a Booper. So speaking of Unicorn, Cupcake, and Oculus, I mean, this may be why you brought up that particular opener. But we are getting an Oculus standoff. I will say, we've gotten... Compared to, say, the number of Phantom games, I know Karst submitted one, but, like, we've had a lot of Inoculuses. Inoculi. Because, despite the nerf, it seems like it didn't matter. Who would have thought that a 3-range phobia is still really good? 413 damage only is so funny. Yeah, but the thing is like... I know it's... Oh, well, it used to be this, so it just feels weird because it... You know, it used to be way better, but, like... That's not bad. Like, it's not damage that you just ignore. So I know why bad guy surrendered. Bad guy surrendered because I think they... I'm assuming this was an arena game and they accidentally skipped their turn or something. So I will say I don't love the dive here. Pick off the cupcake, yes. But I don't think I'd want to be that close to their vault. That's just begging for disaster with 8 keys ready. Honestly, bad guy probably did lose. And it does seem like they skipped a turn there, but I'm not 100% sure. But GG. All right, chat. Give me 1 second. All right, we're back. Innocuous is really easy to kill now, too, at least considering how I play Innocuous in backline. Is just really easy to kill. I'm assuming that's a typo. It sounds like Hevo and K9000 dead, maybe even Innocuous, depending on what you put out. I think you could get Hevo and K9 there. Getting Innocuous as well from that position would be really difficult. Like, that would be really difficult. Maybe not impossible, but it'd be pretty fucking hard. I think it'd be pretty tough. But it does feel like something could have gone sideways super fast. Speaking of sideways, we're back on Desolation Row. Why is Desolation Row sideways? I don't know. But it was the segue that I chose. And we're going to roll with it. This one is Klepto Saves the Heart. This sounds like a sitcom episode title. You kill K9000, move Gravedigger to hit, and go Snowball. If you go Snowball, I don't think you have enough damage to kill the Hevo, then. I think you can get Innocuous there. I'm not saying you can't get Innocuous, but, like, getting all of the, like, all 3 is a lot. Unless you have a level advantage. Don't get me wrong, 8 keys is a lot to use, but I don't know. It just feels like that's an enormous amount of HP to chew through. Yeah, Hevo's in the middle of the Phobies, but I don't think it's dead on that turn. I think you could retreat. But I do think it was a mistake for our hero, who's also the hero here, to dive that deep. Like, there was just no need. It's super dangerous. You're just begging for your opponent to do something horrible to you. And believe me, we've seen plenty of games where that happens. Somebody overextends, you get too close to the vault, and then whoopsie, there goes my entire force just goes up in a puff of smoke. So although we watched the Karst defensive game on this map earlier, we're seeing much more aggressive positioning from our hero here with a 5-2 panic point advantage to start the game. Phobia I got more recent times, it's been good to me, has been Fleshcrawler. Fleshcrawler got a buff however many patches ago. Maybe it was the patch before last? I don't remember. So it shows up periodically, but it's still troubled by being a melee phobia. Yeah, I got buffed 2 times. You're right. Like, Fleshcrawler used to be a joke. It would be like, oh, my opponent put Fleshcrawler on the board. They're memeing. You know, like a bad sushi sort of thing. Now, if you see a Fleshcrawler, it's like, that's respectable at least. Like, I can respect you choosing to utilize it. But I still think that there's typically going to be better utilizations of 7 keys. Usually. That being said, I can't fault anybody for using it. Bad guy with fairly aggressive push here. I feel like you can kill both the cat and the murder wing. Maybe not with the Blinky and Gesundheit there to support. Maybe not. I do like this push in the north. Pick there on Ginseng. Still don't know how I only got 3 1-key Phobies. It's a common thing. When you're just starting out, having a lack of 1-key Phobies was a common thing for a lot of people. And unfortunately, it really does hamper a lot of strategies early on, because at the end of the day, you need 1 keys to be able to do things. Ooh, this is interesting. Honestly, I don't hate this line from Bad Guy. Got a big panic point advantage, and then, like, the vast majority of your team is all up on the heart. This is actually a really good play. Our hero, I don't want to say overextended, but they're definitely kind of stuck up, stranded in there in the north. Razor, Cowbell, Contortio. Well, 2 of those I think you start the game with, like, guaranteed. All right, hero attempting to stabilize here. Oh, this Klepto is going to put in a ton of work. Like, this is going to put a big hurt on Bad Guy. Sheeping gas? I don't love that one. I mean, it's fine. It just feels like a weird choice. I think Sheeping Gas needs a minor buff. Not a huge one, but it needs a little bit more HP. Is that Clinico gonna make it? I'm gonna assume that the Hevo does not die to the Blinky. 6 keys to 10. Uh-oh. Oh, you're only about half heart health. Whew. Can't get that one out. Very tired, chat. It's mostly dehydration, to be honest. Like, I haven't been feeling right, and I'm fairly convinced it's dehydration. I haven't been good about drinking water. I've been drinking way too much coffee and tea. And therefore the caffeine, and you know, it's a diuretic, so. That's a lot of blue panic points. Yeah, I thought Cowbell was a guaranteed starter phobia. I guess not. Kapow. Bees. Did Klepto save the heart? I mean, I guess Klepto did, but this kind of just feels like a good defense. Bad Guy made a pretty strong argument for that push, but it just wasn't quite enough. The Barzilla going defensive here seems weird. Like, I kind of think, because now your Blinky and your Hevo are stranded, I kind of feel like you take the K9000 and use that to defend, because I think the idea is here you don't want to allow the Razor Mouth to go onto the stem and just tee off on your heart, especially given that now it's, what, a 6-to-1 panic point advantage. But I think the K9000 could probably do a sufficient job, and then you push or cut off the push with Sheeping Gas and Barzilla. Bad Guy just kind of feels a little that turn felt desperate, which I guess it was, no matter what. Yeah, Thunder Rocks got buffed in the last patch. It was kind of out of nowhere. Not saying he didn't need it, but it did feel odd. Now we're just watching bad guys' death throws. There's nothing they can do. I'm glad that they did march Sheep and Gas in. Bad guy is honorable. As opposed to other people who decide to run their phobies all over the map. It's like, dude, you cannot win. You're just prolonging this for no purpose. GG, well played. Got him. Well done. Very well done. So we have somebody new. We have a couple new people that submitted games. And obviously we had a number of returning people, so let's take a look at one of the new people. Did not favorite your game! God damn it. First game, didn't favorite it. Shameful. I gotta go hunting. Oh, here it is. Yeah. All right, points to new guy. Kaiwillcurse, our hero, for submitting a game. And it looks like, I believe this is their first submitted game. Minus points for not favoriting your game. Shame. Shameful. So the notes here are, average levels are 11, but my highest are a couple of 15s. My opponent was pretty over-leveled overall. I thought I was going to eat it once they played Onion Boy, but using El Espinoso. Ooh, El Espinoso is a late game win condition on my heart. Took that game from me entirely. Interesting. Quagmire's cool. The old snot monster. He's pretty cool. I like Quagmire. He's a classic. He was definitely a phobia early on that I was very excited about acquiring, because I would always see my opponents use him. Like, man, that guy seems like a real pain in the nuts to deal with. Quick pick from bad guy on the 1 key, but we're going to do a little 1 key trading, it would appear. Bowmangles is the follow-up for bad guy. That's a dead snowball. So I think you do this the other way. Let the cat get the kill. This is super minor. But if you let the cat get the kill, then you don't have 2 1 keys in range of the phobies they have on the board. Like, they have to go through more effort, jump through more hoops in order to get both of them. However, as it is now, they just got both of them. Probably could have got both anyway, but just throwing it out there. Free shots on the Bowmangles. Panic point advantage hero, and this is a tough position to try and claw back into as bad guy. Double turret is a little weird. Oh, it's not weird. It's just a little awkward given the circumstances. So That seems like a mistake. That seems like bad guy forgot about dimensional poles or something. Okay. Free jar kill is free. Speaking of Quagmire, the old snot monster. I feel like bad guy's just going to get dissected here for the next several turns. Okay, this is probably a dead stabby. I do like the AoE hit here. Kills a stabby, sets up the kill on a cassowary, softens up the razor mouth, and like... This is all downhill for bad guy. They still have 8 keys remaining, but it's a 3-0 panic point advantage. It's a small map. Our hero still has access to their jar. There's, like, bad guy has basically gotten no wins throughout this game. Yeah, this one is kind of textbook, I'll say. Like, there isn't too much to add about the game, given the way that it played out. Bad guy made some questionable positioning decisions. The selection was fine, I guess, other than maybe the sequencing. But our hero is able to put a win together. I know I'm kind of quiet at the moment. I'm like all the energy I had before gone. Just like hit a brick wall. But also, there's really not much to add here. Our hero is just annihilating bad guy. Quagmire, no. He's not immortal. He's not immortal. Although it may seem like that sometimes. But GG. Got him. All right. We do have another game from this player. This one looks like it might be favorited. Why only favorite one of them? You only have literally one game favorite. You can favorite up to 5 games. Just saying. All right, our hero once again zoning in on Billy's room. I don't know if this is a longer game. I don't know. This is the actual game I tried to submit. My first submission was definitely the wrong game. Sorry about that. No wonder. Like, I'm watching this game and I'm like, you kind of just beat them. Like, we've had plenty of those in the past where people are just like, yeah, I won. It's like, all right, cool. What'd you do? Nothing. They were just bad. So we'll see what happens here. Getting a similar setup. I think this is another map that suffers from early map design ignorance. I don't know. Not quite sure how to phrase it, but like the defensive stims. Like if you didn't, or if you're not well versed in Phobies, this is going to sound insulting putting it that way, but like, I'm not trying to be insulting to the devs. I'm saying, like, they cannot possibly test as many games as the community can play. There's just way more of us than there are of them. And this definitely feels like, oh, well, what if we had X? Without fully understanding what the ramifications of X would be. And in this particular case, the X is having these defensible and defensive stim pads that kind of just make the game annoying to play. Even if they don't drag the game out to 800 turns, it just makes the game feel like a drag. Yikes. Good heads-up play by our hero here. Trading Cassowary for Jar. Ugh, that... Bad guy. Mistakes were made. Bad guy getting 3-key turnaround, though. Cassowary and the cat. Definitely feels like our hero just straight up forgot about that line. Quite literally, the line. Quagmire coming in to save the day once again. Or, in this case, solidify the day. Do you think Quagmire's spikes are squishy? Or do you think they're, like, bone hard? I feel like they're spikes, but they're definitely going to be squishy. I mean, all of Quagmire seems like it's going to be gross, right? But it begs the question, what other bone structure does he have? Like, hypothetically, spikes. Hypothetically, some kind of skull? Because he does have eyes. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a mouth or a nose. I think it's, like... Because you don't see a skull. I mean, there's an implied skull. Alright, so, for those of you unfamiliar, El Espinozo. Probably use this as the thumbnail, to be honest. Hold on. Turn the camera off for a moment. Probably use this as the thumbnail. Not a phobia you see very often. In fact, I don't know that I've ever seen this phobia exist. Well, we've probably seen it in a game. It had to have come up before. Espinozo's a rare pick. Yeah, it just... I mean, it was a... Was it a monthly phobia? Yeah, it was a monthly phobia. So, like, the numbers of it in the wild are just not going to be very high to begin with, right? There's Shrek himself. Wouldn't it be better if Ogre turned green? I know why he turns red, because, like, it's an enraged thing, but, like... It'd be way funnier if he had the, like, tunic and vest and he turned green or something. Might be a little too on the nose, I don't know. Oh no, we're not going to see the ability. I want to see the... I don't think I've ever seen the Espinozo ability go off. Like, I think he's been in a game before, but I don't think I've seen the ability used. Quagmire doing what he does best. Being not dead. Traps galore, but that unicorn, or, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Can he kill the Quagmire? Because you can get a Blom on the Espinozo and the... Huh. I really hope you, like, dive with the Espinozo, and then they have to kill it, and then the ghost takes over. Oh, it's happening, chat. See, like, that's gotta be the thumbnail, right? Even the icon down here is ghostly, too. Like, that looks really cool. I might have to use this part for the thumbnail, because, like, how... This... I have never seen this. This has never happened. The ultimate dive phobie. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. Can the opponent even see the ghost? Yes, it can be... Whoop. Hit the wrong button. I'm pretty sure they can see it and they can interact with it. They just can't interact with it on the turn the ghost is created. So you can't, like, dive Espinozo, annihilate him, and then blow up his ghost immediately. I think that's a cool ability. I think it's a pretty cool ability. Oh, Killer Frost just submitted a game. We don't have any other dupes left, but we're probably not going to get to Killer Frost game tonight, but that's okay. We're doing pretty good. Like I said, we're building up the list again. People are excited about playing Phobies. And we got some wild stuff going on. Fratute, our hero this time. Kind of a dumb game, but Radiator got to pop off. Look, we are Radiator enjoyers here at the Random Thoughts stream. I love me some Radiator. Situations like this is why I really want a Hoovy. What, for that, like, heart dive thing? Because of the Espinozo? I mean, I get it. I wonder if there... That's an early Radiator. I wonder if there will ever be more Hoovy-esque Phobies, and the strategy can be I completely ignore panic points and then just do whatever, either dive your heart or completely or totally fight your Phobies. I think that would be super toxic, personally, but I guess maybe vacuum cleaner meta is going to be a thing. Be nice against aggro opponents. The Hoovy just doesn't... It's another phobie that I wonder if it's good, it will be oppressive, and if it's not good, then it's never played. Like, there's no healthy spot for it to be in, I think. Got a little Gonzo Bonzo action. Dude, if we get a Gonzo to Radiator, that's going to be amazing. Was this bait? Because that... Like... This might have been bait. Can you honey bear this? No, not like you're not remotely close. Dude, Gonzo Radiator! Get wrecked, nerd! Now we're gonna get bees into more bees! Yo, Fratute. It was a master bait. It was a master bait. It's true. Oh, talk about popping off. Radiator just going ham. Hellpig getting turned into goddamn barbecue. I need to copy over the notepad that I have next to me completely full, because I usually take notes on, like, okay, I need to do this or do that for the edits or something, and, like, I'm out of space. I gotta copy over. There's stuff that I need to remember to do. Nobody cares about these things. Why not put Snowball on the heal instead? It had enough health to survive the charge'll hit. Wait, what? I don't know which... I just saw that comment, so I don't know which turn you were referring to. Was it, like, the radiator turn? Is Bad Side Manners any good? It's solid. It's not, like, oh my god, amazing, but, like, it's a solid phobie. It's playable. Like, there are very few phobies in this game that I think are straight up embarrassing to play. Or it's like, why would you ever conceive of using that? If it was on the radiator pop-off play, I think he needed the snowball hit in order to... Wait, where was the snowball? 1, 2, 3. I don't remember where the snowball was, so I can't really answer the question. I don't remember. Alright, so we're getting another radiator buff. Dude, radiator is going ham. That was sick. There are points where... Sometimes I wonder when people submit games, it's like... Was the other player aware of what was happening? I mean, they were made aware of what was happening, but were they aware going in what was happening? Because they just got annihilated. Like, that was a massacre. Alright, chat. Back on Mysomania, dearh. This time, our hero. Finally, this phobie is now useful. A phobie long forgotten. Well, whoever was asking about bad phobies, we might see a formerly bad phobie, apparently. What are the bad phobies? Bad sushi, Cluck Norris, or bad phobies? They are very bad. I don't know... I talked about it in the video when we were discussing the balance patch. I think what needs to be done for Cluck Norris, they're kind of just, like, trying really hard not to do. I think the buff was in a step in the right direction, but it's just not enough. Once again, the Gravedigger getting in position here. Chad, imagine if they nerfed Gravedigger. How bad would that break the game? Like, what if Gravedigger had a 2-turn warm-up? Or a 3-turn cooldown or something? Or both? I think it would, like... Ooh, Brute Worst. I love me some Brute Worst. Oh, we probably would have another bad phobia if so. I'm thinking more along the lines of... Not just that it's bad, which it probably would go into that category, but more just that there's a ton of maps that are clearly designed under the assumption that Gravedigger exists in its current iteration. And that the game would change dramatically. Bad guy just lost their... Ooh, the recently buffed Brute Wurst to snipe the Innocuous. Sick. And we're getting in position in order to shoo away the Crushmore. Bad guy questioning a large quantity of life decisions at this particular juncture. Spud. Does anybody else feel like Brute Wurst is almost a artistically reworked Spud? It feels like they have similar models. It could just be the shapes of the Phobies, but... Thought I would be using Brute Wurst all the time now, but I ended up using Jeeves more. Jeeves? Why? Paddles? Okay, so wait, were we talking about Brute Wurst or were we talking about paddles? Paddles also recently buffed. You hate to see it. Bad guy trying to change the terrain a little bit, pull our hero... Oh my god, are you serious? Did that really just happen? Hold on. Dude, between the Radiator plays and now this? What is happening? I don't know, you guys are going to have to tell me, which is more unbelievable, this Brute Wurst play or the Radiator series? This Brute Wurst is getting his value. Alright, bad guy going to try and get something for the keys that are on death's door at this stage, but while that number looks big and scary, that's a lot of heart health still remaining. Dude, I love Brute Wurst. I don't know that I love the idea of Brute Wurst meta. That sounds miserable. It's going to be funny to watch, but I envision that would be a miserable meta to actually play in. I think it'd be a miserable meta to play in. Dozer! I mean, that's a decision that can be made, and in fact was made. Alright, so our hero is a little bit out of position here with the bulk of their force in the north. You do still have access to your stem, and you could pop something out of the vault. In fact, that looks like the play here. Ooh, and that's going to allow for the snipe thanks to the earlier Brute Wurst play. Nice. Dude, if Karst still needs Brute Wurst stuff, we're getting it. Hexy is a cool phobie. I think I have PTSD from Stabby, so I don't love Hexy. I think Hexy looks cool. This Dozer did nothing. Who needs Shove Shark when you got paddles? Little screechy metal. Yeah, and like Well, let's be real. Dozer's probably still doing decent damage. Still almost 500 damage, but everybody else, anemic. Except for Spud. Spud is also, doesn't matter. Alright, we're going to puke on Hydra. Yeah, bad guy's just going to get dismembered here over the course of the next several turns. Which, given the way the early part of this game went, it's not at all surprising. Even Dude, Paddle's doing almost 600 wait, hold on. Huh. Apparently Paddles can drop the hammer. For the record, this is a concede-worthy point in the game. Not because bad guy should concede given the way the system is currently set up, but it is absolutely a point in time where bad guy could concede if the system were different, and nobody would fault them for it. Alright, forget fighting their phobies, we're just going to kill them. Now bad guy's stranded. You'll never capture the panic points. You got 2 1-movers. You'll never stop the hard push. You have 2 1-movers. GG. An actual concession system would save us all like 3 minutes here. Probably longer in game time. Down goes bad guy. GG. Well played. Root worse, huh? Who knew? And paddles, too. To be honest, like, the paddles was a core component of that. Might have been fine if it was Shove Shark, but it's good to get some paddles into the limelight. And just like that, chat, we are on to the last game of this particular viewer review. Not to jinx it, but I presume... Wait, what? Somebody doesn't know how to spell their own name? We're gonna go from bad guy's profile, see if we can find this. Yeah, our hero can't spell their own name. Our hero cannot spell their own name. So, Bluefacebaby is actually our hero. We had to go in through bad guy's profile in order to find the game. There was a typo in the spreadsheet, so it's fine. Crazy All-In should be fun to watch. I'll be the judge of that, or more accurately, chat and YouTube will be the judge of that. We shall see. So we're here on Pluto. No, not Pluto. What am I saying? Shit, I can't think of the name of this map. I said Pluto, and I knew it was wrong immediately, and then I was like... But then the actual name of the map went out of my head. I would say this is going to bother me, but I don't care. Phobos, thank you. See, this is why chat is here. This is why chat is here. We crowdsource these things so we can get the information. Our hero up 2 panic points to 0. And kind of firmly in control of the center at the moment. The bad guy evening it up and preparing for the inevitable push. Quick pick on the unicorn there, and bad guy's probably not thrilled about that. You're not going to be able to kill this Hevo, or you shouldn't be able to. I mean, you can get a hit with the Ray, and then 2 hits with the Jin Sting, but nothing can support it, so the Hevo should be able to walk it off. Instead, we're going to try and target down the Jin Sting. We're not going to target down the Jin Sting. The bees almost got the boom, but not quite enough. Oh, bad guy's in trouble. This is... You do not want to see this, because on this map, controlling that center is very important, and then staging into, like, a hard push, potentially. But if you give your opponent breathing room like this, it's very challenging to be able to try and reclaim that position, or threaten that position once again. I don't love the Speedola play here. Beauty. Wow. We haven't seen a Beauty in a long time. Way back when, Beauty was the most broken phobie in the game. Until it got nerfed twice, and then I never heard from it again. You see it occasionally, but not that often. Cowbell deals the final blow. Gotta love the remote buff from the Speedolas. It's funny, like, I get why it has to work this way, but it's funny that having one Speedola on the vault and the other one practically on your opponent's vault, and it still gets the buff. It wouldn't really be reasonable to have it be... They need to be within a certain radius, but... You only got red Speedola for now? Oh, excuse me. They're cool. I do like them. I love the idea. They aren't, like, super busted phobies. Even when you have the buff. They are absolutely bullies if you over-level people, though. And there are certain maps where they have a lot of value. Our hero diving. I don't know that I... Well, I guess... Yeah, you could probably burn this down. I don't know the bad guy's going to have time. I mean, it's a 5-to-1 panic point advantage. This is a lot of HP between the Hevo and the Speedola. Maybe not that much, given that the Hevo's beat up. I guess bad guy wanted the AoE more than the Blom. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You kill the Hevo. We do have Onion Boy live. We're going to get 2 hits from Blinky. We're going to get a Fireball. Then probably march these other phobies in. Maybe not. Never mind. This is cutting it pretty close because bad guys, well, our hero has 7 keys, but like hypothetically, bad guy could stabilize this. It's like the Jackalope King thing for the Speedolas, yes. Jill and Ted have a similar effect. There's a number of phobies that have team effects, we'll say. We get the double kill by Beauty. Ray stabilizes a little bit. And this is kind of what you would be afraid of as our hero. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I was going to say, why are you not reclaiming panic points here? Unfortunately, the Finnegan, which was a good heads-up play to potentially, like, oh, shove somebody off a panic point. I mean, you could kill them. But the important thing is that you shove them off the panic point so that way you can claim it and make that happen. But it just ends up killing the droney either way, so GG. GG. And that is our final game for the evening, chat. These are some good games. We had some really cool stuff. We started out with Karst, and we ended with some new people to viewer games. And we had some cool plays in between and a variety of phobies. So the patch is looking pretty good, in my opinion, at least right now. I'm curious what other people's thoughts are. Are you enjoying Gaming Raptor? Thank you for the follow. You'll have to let me know down in the comments if people are enjoying the patch, what they think, how things are going, whether they think more things need to be changed, what the next one up is. I anticipate we're going to get... Like, if I don't have any insight to this, like they haven't told me, but if I were to guess, we're going to get new phobies. Maybe not on time for the summer release like we did before. That would be sometime in July. However, I think we will get a minor balance patch with it. I don't know that we're going to get anything between now and whenever that hypothetical patch happens. Because I think they are going to do stuff more frequently, it sounds like, based on the statements they made in the past. But I think that there is value to letting it shake out. We'll see. We'll see. But that's going to do it for tonight, everyone. So as always, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.